Great job. So I know we've been really funny, but I think actually something like soft and like
Stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna just watch him do this actually. Yeah, do it.
You sure you don't want to join me?
No, I want you to do it.
All right. This one is not upbeat and funny, but well, maybe I don't know. But yeah, this one's called "Stay." There's a little heavy sun, heavier the breath. Stay as it always will. Stay as it all falls down. Ooh, stay as it always will. Please let us sleep. You didn't know why. Dreaming the times leaving us alone. Stay as it always will. Stay as it all falls down. Ooh, stay as it always will. Oh, stay. Thank you, my dear. Yeah, so imagine that end, but with like drums and double bass and just violins and cellos and.
I've heard it. It's absolutely. Peter shared with me this record that he's putting out. He shared with me most of it, and I heard that song. And you know, he's said in the past when I'm like, "Well, how do you describe yourself?" It's like, a cross between like Jack Black and Jeff Buckley. And I'm like,
that's what other fucking people say. Don't people say.
And it's
other people. It's true.
And it is completely true. So I heard this. The version that he recorded of this song is such a masterpiece. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. To the point where when the song ended, I said, "Jesus fuck, god damn it, Peter." It's that good. So one more time for Peter Feliciano, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, it's a hot motherfucker out there in San Francisco right now. We are a bunch of pansies out here because we will complain about weather that is like the normalest of norms for a lot of places in the world. But hey, that's why we're in San Francisco and we love our weather and we love our city. And it's Monday and it's Zee'z Yerba Buena. And it's also Peter Feliciano's birthday. Happy birthday, Peter Feliciano.
Thank you very much. Am I on?
You're on.
Okay, I can't hear myself very well.
Here you go.
Is that
good?
Much better.
Can you hear me now?
I can. Good Lord, that's loud. Okay, I'm going to turn it down.
Oh, you can turn it down then, yeah.
Perfect.
There you go. What's happening?
How are you, man?
I'm fabulous. How are you doing today?
I am... I think I'm good. I'm a little goddamn tired.
Yeah, did you have a long day today or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Did you have to work or no?
No.
Good.
It's my birthday.
Good. Yes,
But, hang on, I'm posting this shit because...
Post the shit, son.
Apparently that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, these days, I guess, right?
Here we go.
I think I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah. So, it is a hot one. I think the heat does not help. You know, when it's hot, it drains you. And again, we are not used to heat like this. It probably happens 4 times in the year, you know, weather like this.
Right.
It's just, so I definitely, I didn't do shit today and I'm tired.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, I didn't know that.
All I did today, what did I do? I cleaned out the car, went to the gym, and which was a good idea, but it felt very foolish after I was walking around just now. It's just like, I could have just lived and sweat out.
Just walked out
all calories I would have intaken.
You could have walked to the studio probably and then walked back home and been your workout.
Exactly. And then got some stuff cleared at Uber. I'm gonna unfortunately start driving Uber again. And you know, because I gotta support my music and podcast somehow. So.
And are you gonna be doing that in New York as well too, or just while you're here before you leave?
Most likely. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
I know I'm bringing my car out there.
Yes, I remember you mentioned this.
But it's also the type of thing where there's a lot of good restaurants out there, and there's a lot of opportunity to do music and things like that. So hopefully I don't have to.
You might
or
not
at least
need
for
to.
very long.
Yeah, or you could do like
We'll
once a week or something. You know what I mean? Just something to help the extra expense. I'm sure it's not cheap out there either to live. You know what I mean? Like it's expensive to live in the East Coast as well.
Yeah.
But you can still get food. I feel, at least when I was out there, you can still get like simple things a little cheaper than out here. Like you can still go to a bodega and get a breakfast sandwich and spend less than $5, $6 maybe, or something like that.
Cigarettes are more expensive.
But people freak out. Actually, I had a friend from New York here recently for one of the last variety shows, and she bought a pack of cigarettes down the street from Moonlight, and she was kind of flipped out that it was 11 something.
Oh, really?
And I was like, "What? Aren't you from New York? Like, what the fuck? Isn't it expensive out there too?" And she's like, "Yeah, it is, but you can. There's a spot that I go to. It's $8 for the pack that I get, and you can't get menthol out here." She's like, "What's up with that?" I'm like, "That's San Francisco for you. That's the
go to Oakland."
Yeah, exactly. You gotta drive to South San Francisco to get your menthol. Still,
you gotta go where the black people are. Oh my God! I have a zebra cake.
Oh, you have a
zebra cake. I have a kind bar.
Yes, there you go. And you have some Fiji water. You are good to go, man.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, bro.
How are you doing otherwise?
I am doing great otherwise. Moonlight is running you've got a full show for June.
Right.
Working on July. You will be there Tuesday, shot on Wednesday in July.
Third Wednesday.
Wednesday of July. That's
there.
Christ. That's right. Our lineup this month is we have Nancy McGinnis, I believe her name. A friend of mine lives down the street from Moonlight, local. She's a singer. She'll be singing some music. We have Teddy Hull, I believe, is our headliner. This guy roasted my sister and cousins over at Ray's Hearth one night, and it was hilarious. So I had to have him on. Yeah, well, it was my sister's fault too. But
cool.
And then we have who do we have? We have his name I always fuck up, so I don't want to do that. Who else do we have? We have who's our storyteller? Let me just go to the page here. Let me stop fucking around.
It's been growing. The last time I was there were a lot of people there.
You know, we're trying our best. You know, we got Alan Harris. There we go. He's our storyteller. We're trying our best to keep filling it up. And then we have Vishal Cow is our feature. Yeah, we're doing what we can. I'm hoping that it can grow a little bit more. You know, I mean, because we've been doing it for so long.
Right.
At this point, we're just gonna keep on pushing a little bit longer and see what happens. But we're doing. Oh, hey, look, you're live right now. Holy shit!
I am.
Nice. We're gonna keep doing it.
Do I look good? I think I look good.
You always look good though.
Sup, trick? That's my brother Will. He's a piece of shit. We hate you, Will.
I don't know you, Will, so please let us speak for yourself.
No, Z hates you too.
No, Will, I do not.
Everyone who knows you or doesn't know you despises you as a person, Will.
No, this is not true.
I advocate live on the radio for you to murder yourself. If you could video it, that would be even better.
Oh my
because I need masturbation material.
Oh my God! You guys must have a very good relationship because that is a loving brothers talk that only a loving brothers talk can get. You get. You know what I mean? Like that's a loving brother.
Have
can
you ever
give.
heard the episodes that I have with him are the most foul, horrendous, quick, just pop.
I've seen the comments. I've seen some of the comments. Like I got to listen to these, man. So I need to. I still haven't listened to the one that I was on, so I got to do that. So I'm just terrible at listening to podcasts.
Your episode was good.
It was. We had so much fun. I want to come before you move too. I got to come back. So you let me know. But something that's new that's happened recently is I watched The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
I saw that you shared about it.
Yes, and I had Mike Evans Jr. on my show a couple weeks ago. He actually helped on the show. He was on the movie. He was an extra in a couple scenes, and he did some behind the scenes work. He's a local comedian. He's been at Tuesday Shout on Wednesday before.
Okay,
and he was part of the show. He was there at Sundance when they were over there, and it's a freaking great movie. Like I was so looking forward to seeing this. I'm telling you, laughed, and cried.
Okay,
and I'm not talking like gushing, crying, like but I teared. Like anyone that's been affected by any form of being forcefully, can't afford it, or you just got to leave, gentrification, all these things,
right.
Losing somebody, you know what I mean? Just like people, disappearing because they died or something happened.
Right.
And it's also because it's based on true stuff like this. Something, I don't know if it's exactly the same thing that happens to him in life, but basically, he loses the family loses their home a long time ago, and he's the main character is always trying to add paint to the house and try to fix it up, and the owners are always yelling at him, telling him to leave. But basically, he wants this house that's been in his family, and it's just about gentrification. Just talks all about all those things basically. So it just shows you how the city changes and how money kind of has taken over. And they've been trying to make this movie for like 6 years, maybe more.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's finally got made, and it's a great movie. So I recommend anybody that just loves the city, that loves San Francisco, that has anything to do with, or knows anyone that has anything to do with gentrification, or has been affected by it themselves, just go watch it. It's a damn good movie.
All right.
And it also depends on how much they get out there. It will keep playing. So that's what we're hoping for. And I'm trying to get them on my show sometime too. So I want to reach out to them and see if I can get anyone on my podcast sometime. I think they'd be a great fit for here. But other than that, it's your birthday. I wanted to talk to you about your birthday. You doing anything for your birthday?
I might work. I'm fucking tired right now. I'm sorry.
No,
I need
it's
some
okay.
coffee or something. Do you have coffee?
I have some coffee. You want some of my coffee?
No, that's yours coffee. No. No, just with the fucking heat, I'm just in I was in a foul mood. So I'm just trying to center myself and be.
Send that. No, I got you covered. So here's what I wanted to talk to you about your album release. It's coming out, and
Yes, sir.
when is that date? Is that
It's going
set?
to be August 17th at Brick and Mortar Music Hall.
Okay, and that's a Wednesday, right?
No, it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
So everyone who's listening right now or
Okay.
ever will listen to this, you need to be there.
Okay, I will be there.
At Brick and Mortar Hall.
It's 2 days for my birthday,
August 17th. Perfect.
too. Yeah, so it's perfect. So perfect
Perfect.
reason to go out and
I'll
celebrate.
let you buy a CD.
There you go. Yes, I would love to
Aren't
buy a
I
CD.
kind?
Yes, I would love to buy your
So
CD.
I recorded this. It's been a long time in the making. This is my first album ever, and I was just listening to the tracks again last night before we send them out for mastering, and it is fucking really good. And I'm not one who allows myself to feel good about myself very easily, but I think we did something fucking great. Like, and I'm a judgmental douche when it comes to a lot of things, especially music. And we did a very good job, and I'm very proud of us. It sounds. I've been told my sound is similar to like Jack Black meets Jeff Buckley, so I'm just going with that as far
Nice.
as branding goes.
Nice,
and,
nice.
And there's bass, and there's drums, and there's horns, and there's cellos, and there's organs, and there's this fucking amazing shit all over this album. There's 9 songs, many of them offensive, and some of them about death, and some of them vulgar, and some of them about fear and things like that. So it's I'm certainly not the type of musician, certainly not the type of artist who uses music as a means of like processing feelings. I just like telling stories and things like that. And
creative writing
yeah,
style of artists.
I like creeping people out. I like scaring people. I like making people laugh, and I like making people cry. So it's a mix of all those things.
I like all those things. I enjoy all those emotions.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why I feel I like scary movies.
Right.
Or one of the reasons why I like scaring people.
Yeah.
Like, boo, kind of scaring people, you know what I mean? And
Sure.
I know it's fucked up sometimes, and you could really scare some people. One time we scared our friend Becker. Becker, I love you. You know I love you. We scared
I don't
the
like you,
shit.
Becker.
We scared the...
I don't like you.
You'll like Becker when you meet him.
Nah.
We scared
Probably
the
not.
shit out of this. No. Becker, everyone loves Becker. Becker's awesome. This guy, he lived with his aunt and uncle at the time in South San Francisco. And we...
Was he black?
No, he's half Japanese, half German. He's
Wow.
Our teacher really gave him a hard time during World War II history in high school, so it was really funny actually. Yeah, every time he would be watching, like showing us a video, if it was the Nazis, he would pause it and say that's Beck's uncle right there, or something like that. Just for Beck, don't get excited, all that stuff. But so he lived at his aunt and uncle's house in South City, and he worked late at the time. So he works late now. He's a bartender, but so he get home every night around like 11 or so, and he'd
Is his name David?
No, his name is Becker von Felsberg.
Okay.
And he would open the garage door from his uncle's pickup truck, which was parked in the driveway. That was his
Sure.
routine. So our friend, said, "Hey, do you still have your Michael Myers mask? I wanted to borrow it." I was like, whoa, you're not borrowing the mask without me, first of all. What are we doing? Who are we scaring? He's like, oh, yeah, you want to do it? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to do it. What's wrong with you? He's like, we want to scare Becker. We want to videotape him, and we want to pop out of the back of a pickup truck and scare him. I was like, dude, fuck it, I'm in. I got a plastic knife and everything. Let's go. I got a rubber knife. He's like, all right, let's go. So I hop in the back of his truck. They got a videotape. They're ready to go. And as soon as he pulls up to the door to open the garage door, before he opens the garage door, I pop up and start fake stabbing him with the rubber knife. And the look on this guy's face was priceless. Like, I wish I had a FaceTime camera. You know what I mean? This was way back
Right.
before technology was that good, so we just had the side view of it. But he jumped up and down like a girl, like, and just screamed bloody murder, and had the look of, like, I'm going to die right now. He's like,
See, I don't. I can tell I don't like Becker.
See,
That's what
you fucking pansy. And I was halfway back in case he tried punching me, and he didn't do anything.
Right.
And then we pop out with the camera. He realizes we're recording him, and then my friend's friend. I'm not really friends with this other guy. I don't really like him too much. But anyway, this other guy comes out and shoots him with a. That's who you don't like. He shoots him with a paintball gun, which is kind of like, I don't know why he wanted to do that. It was his idea, and that just added insult to injury. You know what I mean? Like, he already had a heart attack. Now you're shooting him with a paintball gun. But he shot him once or twice, and that was it. And he was cool after. I took the mask off. I gave him a hug. It was, we laughed about it after. But man, that's. Like, and I know it's a dickhead move, and it's not very nice, but damn, is it fun,
Yeah.
And if I'm a good sport, I've been the shit scared out of me before, and I've gotten a little upset, but I
shot with fucking paintballs.
That was
That's
just
a whole
unnecessary,
lot. Yeah.
But you gotta understand, you gotta dish it, you gotta be able to take it, So
Yeah.
sometimes I've almost shat my pants before, and
Right.
Hopefully, no one listening ever hides in my pickup truck and
Shot
does that
you
to
with
me.
paintball?
Or shoot with paintball. I've been shot with paintball gun paintballing before. It's never,
Right.
yeah, that's
I wanted to talk about free speech. I find that there's a lot of shit going down when it comes to free speech right now.
Let's do it, man.
And I mean, we are on FCC free radio.
We
but
are the place to
FCC
be.
is not the problem.
No.
You know what I mean? It's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's Twitter, it's the
PC-ness.
It's the PC-ness run amok.
PC principle.
And I just want to be a complete pain in their fucking asses. I'm just not gonna stop. I don't care if they keep shadow banning my accounts. I don't care what you fucking do. I'm too talented and I'm too fucking loud and I'm too good at this. I'm not. You won't fucking win. I'm gonna keep doing. The problem is anybody who isn't 100% liberal gets their shit shadow. You know what shadow banning is, right? Shadow banning meaning they hide your posts from people who have elected to follow you, not just on a personal level, but also if you have a business. So I have an Instagram, a business Instagram, and I have a business Facebook as well as a personal Facebook. And you can follow me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. Feel free. And what happens is that Instagram/Facebook or even YouTube will, in the background, hide your shit from people who have elected to follow you, people who listen every week, people who like your stuff, people who want to see your stuff, who want to support your podcast, your music, your radio show, your whatever. And the reason why they do that is because of the principle. The reason why they do that is because they don't really believe in free speech. They want to hide behind the idea of hate speech, but they refuse to define it. Even when they do define it, they don't stick to those rules. YouTube and Steven Crowder and what they did to Steven Crowder recently is a perfect example of that. Steven Crowder was literally just making fun of a gay Mexican, and that means he had all. They want to take away his fucking livelihood because he made gay jokes.
Louis C.K. came on
We
stage
all make gay jokes.
and was said this is and talked like a gay person and said this is how a Mexican sounds. How come no one said anything wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like
right,
he did that
because they here's why. Because ultimately they think the big they know that Louis C.K. is a liberal.
Oh,
that's the problem.
Yes,
is that
yes.
we, in order to cleanse us of this evilness that is conservatism, we're going to cleanse it the right way. Here's what it really fucking is. And all these motherfuckers, these Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the real problem is that big white liberal daddy knows best. Big white liberal daddy knows best. Just like George Carlin used to fucking say.
Yeah.
Big white liberal daddy knows best. I know these people follow Steven Crowder and listen to Steven Crowder and follow Peter Feliciano and listen to all these semi-conservative to very conservative podcasts and radio shows and videos. But you know what? They don't know any better. They can't discern on their own. And so let's do it for them. Big white liberal daddy knows best. And I'm
So
going to be
shadow
a
ban all that
fucking
stuff.
thorn in their fucking sides till the day I fucking die. I don't give a shit, dude.
So you know that people aren't getting and seeing some of your stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. First, it started a few months ago with my hashtags aren't working. And so I looked up shadow banning online, and they said, just tell Instagram that your hashtags aren't working, and they'll fix it. And so I told Instagram over the course of a couple of weeks, hey, my hashtags aren't working. Then they started working again. And then the same thing happened about 2 weeks ago. So my already my likes and my views were going down. The problem is as an artist, and you know this from your own experience being a comedian, as an artist, a musician, a podcaster, already I have the talk in my head, the insecurity in my head. Maybe I'm not very good. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not very good at podcasting. Maybe I'm not very good at music. Maybe I suck as an artist.
We're our worst critics, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are.
But then what happens is that feeding into that insecurity is the fact that my likes have gone down, my views have gone down, and the people who elected to like my posts, that gets shortened and shortened. So even people who want to support my shit can't or don't.
Because no one's going to go
They
and
don't
look
know
up
what
your
fucking
name.
exists.
Yeah, well, because no one will... People have no attention span anymore. I was just talking on the phone with my friend on the way here about this kind of thing. How people like we've been open late on Friday and Saturday at my coffee shop till 9 p.m. since October of last year. Okay. There's people that come home, if not daily, at least 3 times a week. You know, and I told them recently, and they're like, "Oh, really? You've been doing that?" been a sandwich board outside, and I've had signs on the doors and windows for months.
Right. Well, I mean,
people.
that's-
So my point is,
Right.
so the fact that they're going to shadow block you is really fucked up because no
Right.
one's going to go look up Peter Feliciano and
Right.
go find out what they missed if
Right.
they didn't see it in the feed already.
Right.
You get what I mean? So that's how it's a tricky thing that it's
It
fucked
is.
up. It sucks. So
It
I
is.
see your frustration. You know.
And not just that, but I mean, as an example, there was a guy called that I follow on Instagram called Too Savage for Democrats. And don't get me wrong, I'm very liberal on lots of different things. I don't give a fuck who you fuck or who you marry. I don't care. It's trans rights, blah blah blah. But ultimately, the problem is that when it's like as an example, Too Savage for Democrats. In order to find his account, if I didn't follow him, I would have to fully type it out. 2_savage_4_
They make
Democrats.
the case sensitive on it, really.
They
Yeah.
make it very hard to find this motherfucker. They make it hard to find me. They make it hard to find all these other people because ultimately they want a big white liberal daddy knows best, and it's fucking disgusting.
You know what? You know what's funny?
Facebook and Instagram and YouTube are fucking
You're right.
disgusting.
We're having problems.
and I'm going to be a pain in their fucking ass to the day I fucking die.
I'm noticing that here at FCC Free Radio.
Where?
And I know
How?
So hashtagging. When I post Instagram when I first started doing the shows here, when I would hashtag or I want to tag FCC Free Radio, all I had to
Right.
type in was FCC and it'd be the first one. Now
Right.
I have to press enter and search and go down. It's usually a few down. Your
Right.
name too. When I would
Right.
hashtag you on other episodes and other
Right.
times when I'm posting pictures
Right.
for you, it'd always pop up
Right.
as the first Peter.
Right.
Today it was like I had to scroll down and find you. It would some
but
other
see-
Peter was popping
but
up.
see, Z, you don't know better. Even though you're, what,
No,
35?
I just-
35?
33.
33?
Yeah.
People, see, you don't know any better. We need to protect you from ideas that may be harmful to people. We need to protect you. Even though you're 33 years old, we need to protect you from ideas that may harm you or harm other people. We need to, see, we know better than you.
But
Even
I
though
like
you're
you,
33
Peter.
fucking years old.
I like you though. I wanna hear what you have to say. Just like I don't mind hearing what people I don't like have to say, even because I don't. You know, like there's this
because you're a mature adult.
there's you know what's funny? Like there's a person who I try to avoid posting online in general. You know what I mean? And I try to avoid engaging. And I'm not even
Right.
going to call it names right now. I don't know if he'll ever
You
listen to my
could.
show, but if he does,
I'm spraying it
he'll know who
everywhere.
I'm.
I don't give a fuck.
He'll know I'm talking about him. Like I said, I got nothing against the guy. He's a good person. But every once in a while, he'll throw something out there, and the thing is, I feel it's not about. I'm not. You can't like. I don't want to say that it's bad if you're white to say something about like a racial issue. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you are Caucasian, right? Like you are 100% like an ethnicity of like your background is you came here from the European
Right.
countries. You're white. I don't feel you should be talking about there isn't racism in any level. You know what I mean? Like whether
Okay.
it's systemic or whether it's just in general with people. Just because. Just why? You know what I mean? Like, why are you bringing up this like thing? You know what I mean? Like, you're just all you're gonna do is and eventually piss people off. You know? And I still believe there is some form of racism in all levels, whether it's professional and whether it's on a thing. That's just what I personally believe.
Sure.
To say that it doesn't exist completely just because his reasoning was there's a Texas 19 women of different. All women, and they're all different, like ethnicities between white and black. They all got elected, and they all won. So that it means it doesn't exist. Systemic
Sure.
racism. Like how? Just because
Maybe-
that happened,
maybe
that doesn't
he's
mean it
saying-
doesn't exist. No, he's
right.
He's dead
The
on. It
idea
doesn't
itself,
exist.
The
Yeah.
idea itself is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But I'll bring that. I'll posit this to you.
Yeah.
What if the person saying that was black, and they said that racism doesn't exist on any level?
I still would feel the same way, but at least it's.
But you would still believe that they shouldn't be allowed or shouldn't say
and
it?
I don't want to say you shouldn't be allowed to say it. I just feel
Okay.
like if you're gonna say it as any, you know what I mean. You're especially as someone you're gonna bring up some stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that may be the point.
You know what I mean? That's what they want. But in general, like, I feel that you can't say something does or doesn't exist permanently anymore on that level. You get what I mean? Like, because we don't know. Like, you don't.
I mean,
we don't
yeah.
know the office building that hires minorities and white people and mixes
Right.
it great. We don't know the office building that turned down 20 minorities because they
Right.
don't want to because they're
No,
minorities.
and
We don't know that.
And I agree with you on that point. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, as far as saying it, as far as the principle of being allowed to say
Yeah, you
it,
should be allowed to say it. I'm not being a
Okay.
dick like that. I'm not
All
trying
right.
to say you should, but I just mean in general, like by saying that, you know you're going to bring up some shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's just like, and it's also to me, at this point in time, I don't want to say don't bring up race because that's the worst thing we can do. You know what I mean? But don't try to say that bad things about it are completely gone. Don't try to say that this doesn't exist. You know, we all don't know. The best thing to do is just fucking live amongst each other and don't use it as a judging factor. That's the only thing we should be able to do right now in this. It's 2019.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you that there is definitely racism out there. I think more often than not, there's racial than racist, and racial is fine. I have no problem judging the shit out of somebody who's driving in front of me in the left lane at 50 miles fucking per hour, and then going by them and going, Asian. Okay. Like, I have no done. Check. I was right. I have no problem doing that. The problem that I have is ultimately, and I agree with you that there's certainly racism out there. The problem is that when we really, the messages that aren't being put out there is the truth that everybody should be allowed to say that. Should be allowed.
Yeah, you should be allowed to say what you want.
We shouldn't be hiding people from ideas that may harm them because ideas can't harm people. Like, I don't know if that's right.
I get what you're saying, though. Like,
you understand?
Like, I get what you're saying, and that's why I don't want to restrict.
Anyway,
yeah, like I don't want to restrict. He's the one. He's always kind of bringing it up on social media, and that's why I avoid engaging. Every once in a while, I will, and this is one of those times where I'm like, fuck, I'm definitely going to take a break from engaging, just because I don't. There's no point arguing, because this is more my opinion than anything. It's not a fact. I'm not saying that I hold down the fort on facts of shit like that. But it's just a personal way I believe is like I'm not gonna go out there and say no Arab should talk about being Arab. You know what I mean? Like or no Jew should say I'm a Jew. You know, like no. This.
You know what I think it was for him? Because I do this too. I think we're all guilty of it. That we speak from a place of emotion without bringing in logic. So I understand that I think he's going so far to the other side because he sees people going so far to that side, saying that white people are the devil and white people shouldn't be allowed to say. So he's saying, fuck it. His emotion is driving him. His logic isn't driving him. And so his emotion is saying, I'm going to say that no racism exists on any level, right? Now, logically, that doesn't make sense. But I understand where he's coming from emotionally. Just like when somebody's like, shares constantly about something anti-Trump. Like, I understand at least where they're coming from. I don't need to pick it apart with them because at least I understand they're emotionally coming from where they're coming from. They're coming from a good place. I even think that guy was coming from a good place.
No, and that's why. And he didn't mean on any level. He just meant systemically. Like that doesn't exist anymore. Like I feel like hey, you're still reaching for that one, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not a point of let's disprove each other because you can't disprove or prove that because just because you see
but
one
you can't
side,
prove it either. And a lot of motherfuckers be proving it these days. A lot of motherfuckers tell Facebook and Instagram and
I see what you mean. They force the proof of it.
They force the proof of it, and they say, "Of course." There's just like hipsters. Remember hipsters? How they're just like, "Of course, I know how to order at Phil's." You know, in 2005, or hipsters are just like, "Of course, I eat kale," and of course, there's an of courseness, right? Same thing goes with their politics. It's, of course, systemic racism is constantly prevalent, and people use that as the fulcrum to decide whether or not people should hire Ricky Gervais to host the Golden Globes or stupid, mincing, watery, wet, beige pieces of shit like fucking Adam Sandberg and Andy Samberg and fucking who was that Asian chick at the last Golden Globes? Just the boring, wet noodles, like no funniness, no fucking, no oomph, no pain, no nothing. Just a wet noodle, just wet noodles, and everybody in the crowd going, she's an Asian woman, of course she's correct. I hate that shit more than fucking anything, and I will fucking, God damn it, I hate that shit.
And the crazy thing too, like, you can't, like you said, you can't say like the white man's the devil. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's so fucking wrong. Because there's no, I know so many people of so many different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. From all over the world, you know,
and I'm half white. Yeah, do I get to talk about race half of the time? It's I mean, we are so mixed these days. Like, where's the line? Oh, like, you don't get to talk on this. That's okay. What about like as an example? One of the big things about abortion recently was that women should be standing up. Men shouldn't be allowed to talk about it. Although on the other side they were like, men allies, you need to speak up. So which one is it? But anyway,
yeah.
Okay, men aren't allowed to talk about it. Okay, but what about the 50% of women that are against abortion? Do they get to have a say?
No, I think everyone should have an opinion on it.
They're just brainwashed. Everybody gets to have a fucking opinion about everything.
No, you should, and that's the thing too. That's why I say, especially the abortion thing was fucked up because there's so many people so angry on both sides of it. And in my mind, I'm just like, I believe in pro-choice mainly because it should be between the people that are happy. This is happening to more than anything, and if it's supposed to be a separation of church and state.
Right.
That's why I'm a pro-choicer. You know what I mean? It's not about whether I think anything about the scientific fact of it.
Right.
Not a religious fact. To me, I'm not really very religious, so that's why. So I'm big on separate. You're supposed to separate church and state. You're not supposed to have laws in this country, at least, that are biased by religion. That's the whole point of the Constitution. So that's where I stand on it. But that's just my opinion. I will never ever tell someone you're wrong for being pro-life.
Right.
Because that's your personal opinion. It's your personal choice.
What about, so like as an example, I'm more pro-life. I do believe that so I know it was going crazy in Alabama, going at like 6 weeks. Like that feels a little fucking extreme. But also
they wanted to do like
on
4
the other
weeks or
side,
something like that.
But on the other side, a month earlier in New York or Virginia, they were saying, well, I mean, the fucking governor was on the radio saying, well, if the baby comes out after they tried to abort it at 9 months, the baby comes out, and then the doctor and the mother, can have a conversation and kill the fucking baby.
No, that's too much.
So both of those sides are insane.
That's extreme. I didn't hear about that one. That's fucked up. That is murder. That is murder.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That is murder. The
I'm
baby's
not
already
a
born.
Christian.
No, I'm not either. That's
not
a
a
moral
religious
thing.
person.
It's just a morality. You can't kill.
But if it is a baby
that's alive, then it's a baby. You already fucked up.
You shouldn't kill people.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You should have decided that. You should have made
If
that
it's
decision.
a person, should we be allowed to kill it? That's all I'm saying. Or at least if you are going to make that decision to kill it, call it a baby. Don't make believe it's just a bundle of cells.
But even then, I still think that if you kill that baby, you should go to jail. That's a human life right there. If it's 9 months and it's healthy and they decide they don't want the baby and kill, is that what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but it's a woman's choice.
No,
you don't get to talk on this because you have a penis.
But the baby's already born. Once the baby is born, then that fine line needs to get drawn
at 8 months and 29 days. The baby's still in the womb. Are we allowed to kill it and have it not be alive?
So here's what I
it's some sticky shit.
No,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
always thought that you couldn't abort past a certain time anywhere. Period.
Yeah, but there are people who are pushing so far to keep the door open for the first trimester, as an example.
So what is the limit?
They say up to 9 months.
Yeah, no. See, I think 9 months is too much. That's too much. Yeah, that's like I said. I'm a pro-choicer, but that's too much. So that's why that's where it gets tricky. You're right. I didn't know that. I didn't realize people were going to push to 9 months. That's fucked up.
Oh yeah,
that is fucked. And like I said, that's not a religious thing. That's just
I think that's kill people.
Fucking killing
that's all it
is.
That's
so the government
I'm not
needs
allowed
to make
kill people.
that
that's
decision.
All.
I think without you know what I mean. Like that.
Well,
needs
it goes
to be,
state by state, right?
Yeah. But that's fucking crazy. So I see where now I can really I didn't know because I was under the impression that regardless of where you were, for the most part, every state had a limit of like up to 3 months or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that was the average thing that I understood. Anything after 3 months or
it sounds a little slippery because number one,
90 days or whatever, you couldn't do it.
Yeah, number one, New York was pushing all the way up to 9 months, and I think Virginia as well. But also on the other side, Alabama, and I don't think they've pushed it through, but Alabama and Georgia were pushing for 6 weeks, which I think is a little soon. Yeah. Like, there are a lot of people who are pregnant for like 2 months who
don't even notice it. Yeah, that's true. You want to give it at least 2 months.
I think that the first trimester makes sense. Yeah, I still think it's a life. But
so you are pro-life 100%. That's just you though. That's you don't want to say no.
Like I just feel like once that ball's already fucking rolling, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even if the baby's like not sustainable, meaning it has Down syndrome, like we should be allowed to kill it.
Yeah, that's why I feel it should.
There are a lot of people with Down syndrome out on 6th Street right now.
Oh, I know.
Am I allowed to kill them?
That's where the line has got to be drawn at that like, you know what I mean? Like once you are walking the streets and you kill someone, that's murder. Like that's a whole nother ball game right there.
But the water breaking should not be a decision on whether or not it's a life. Like if we took Peter Dinklage and we shaved him and we had him lose a little bit of weight and we put him inside of a woman, could we kill Peter Dinklage?
I'm pro-choice up to a point because once you get past a certain point, if it's a heart beat and all that shit, then you should. After, like you said, the first trimester makes sense. Once you get past a point, then you should. I don't think you should be able to abort unless it's like the baby's dead itself. Then obviously, you force you get it out of there. But
the rape and molestation, and incest argument too is a little insane because it happens so rarely. Even then, I'm kind of down for people to have choice to kill the baby.
Yeah.
But number one, just because you're wanting to keep the door open so wide that you don't want to call it a baby, like, call it a fucking baby. It's a fucking baby. Number two, I have heard the argument, and it makes sense. I've heard the argument that just because one evil happens doesn't mean you should be allowed to make another evil happen. And that makes sense. I don't feel comfortable enough to push for it fucking legislation-wise. We force people to have babies that they were fucking raped. At the same time, just at the very least, call it a baby, because it is.
Yeah.
There'd be no reason for you to want to abort it to... you know what I mean?
I think just if it's the baby's, like you said, if it's the baby's actually born, no, that's murder. I'm sorry, that's the thing is out of the womb. You know what I mean? And yes, also 8 months in the womb, it's still a person. Like, that is a person. You're right. Yeah. So I would have to say there's got to be a limit to the pro-choiceness. Yeah. If people are pushing 9 months, that's too much. Like I say, that's why I'm pretty much in the middle on a lot of shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the middle on a lot of shit.
There are people who have tuned in and decided to untune. I totally said that perfectly. Because we are two men deciding that.
I'm sure, yeah.
Now, first things first, all you angry little bitches who are listening right now who are going, nah, two men shouldn't be... Did you just assume my gender? Yeah. Fucking turd. Number two...
God. See, the PCness just ruins everything. People can't even discuss shit. People getting offended anymore.
Now, yes, we are two men. But the baby is technically half mine, too.
No, it takes two to tango. Unless you had that shit artificially inseminated, that other person's involved.
And the other idea is the same thing goes. If you follow the logic, kids, follow the bouncing ball. The logic is there are literally almost 50% of women are against abortion all over the country. So what do you say to those women? Oh, they must be just brainwashed. No, they just don't want the baby to die. They just don't want the baby to die. Some of them use Christianity as a reason. Some of them use fucking, the life. But it's a fucking kid. Just call it a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I don't want to control women's bodies. I don't give a shit. Most of the women, by the way, who are all rah for, I don't want to fuck anyway. Leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? I don't want to fuck a lot of people. But that's not true. But but the problem, it is my birthday, by the way, boys and girls. Feel free to find me at email me at conservatishpodcast@gmail.com. Support my podcast at patreon.com/conservatish. Send me titty pictures and I will let you suck my penis. Because I'm a good fucking guy.
Well said, Pete.
Now,
so continue.
But let people fucking talk. And the scariest part about the shadow banning and the shit going on with Facebook and Instagram and YouTube is that they won't even let us talk. There are people who are actively listening to my podcast every week who just don't see my post. They have elected to follow me. They have elected to follow me on Facebook. They want to support my shit, even if they agree or they disagree or they like it or they whatever, or some songs just don't speak to them, whatever the fuck. But they won't even be allowed to because big white liberal daddy knows best. Yeah, and I fucking refuse.
That's the version.
Refuse to put my fucking mouth down. Yeah. I fucking refuse.
There's an example of. Every country's got their things, and like, for example, in certain countries you can't go on certain websites. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That reminds me of that. Yeah. Even where I'm from, my cousin's like, we can't go on that website. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Not even Facebook or
no, they have Facebook, but just certain. I don't even know what it is. I don't remember the website, but there are certain things like you couldn't go on. You can't. Your country wouldn't allow it.
Okay.
They have restrictions with the internet and stuff. So it's kind of it reminds me of that, which is pretty sad because it should be just an open flow of information, and let the people, because like you notice something's wrong with the algorithms in general when you keep seeing, because when someone comments on something they repost it, right? Like it gets read back in the feed, but when you're seeing shit keep getting back in the feed, it's not getting commented on, and it says a date like 4 days before and the time, you're like, I already seen this 10 times. Why don't you give me something new? You know what I mean? That's how you know they're fucking with the algorithms. That's how you know they're doing that shit.
Not only that, but as a offensive, controversial podcaster and musician, I have a business Facebook and a business Instagram, and part of what they have me do is for people to see my posts and to promote it. They want money. The problem is that I tried maybe 9 months ago to promote something. I put some money down, and they said, "Oh, nope. See, this has to do." I think it was the video where I took a bunch of straws, plastic straws, and I strew them all over the beach in Pacifica. Because I was just being an asshole. I just wanted to, And I won't say if I picked them up or not, because fuck you. I do what I want. But I threw them and I posted it, and the problem, and they said, oh, they dinged it back and they sent me back, and Facebook says, actually, because this has to do with a matter of politics, we have to verify that you're a real person. This was on all that Trump, Russia, blah, blah, blah. You know, they were afraid of Russian bots and things like that. Now, the only thing that was political about it was the name. Half of the name of the podcast, CONSERVATISH.
Yeah.
It doesn't even say conservative, but they have such the robots that they have set up are so sensitive they can get conservative, and they're like, oh, this has to do with matters of social importance. We have to verify your account. So it took a week. They sent something in the mail to my address and said, are you a real person? I stamped it with my penis, and I sent it back. And then,
what color ink did you use?
I think I was bleeding out of my urethra that day. So
Gonorrhea got to you bad, huh?
Pink. So I sent it back, and they said, finally, after a week or two, they were like, okay, fine, we verified your address. You're not a Russian bot. You're allowed to do it. Then about a week later, I posted something, and I wanted to promote it, and they said, actually, because it has to deal with matters of...
How to keep an idiot busy. Turn it over. How to keep an idiot busy. Turn over.
Right, and now here's what's so fucked up and wonderful about how stupid this fucking company is, because they think it's never going to change. MySpace fucking left. Radio's fucking dead. Fuck you, motherfucker. We can move on to other shit. I'm looking real hard at Gab.com.
Yeah,
later
Gab and
on.
Minds. People are on Minds a lot.
Fuck you, Facebook. I would rather talk to the people who have elected and want to hear my shit than big white liberal daddy knows best. You know what I mean? But anyway, recently I posted something and it didn't have to do with matter. They said I'm allowed to, so I went through it, and they said, and then they got back to me and said they turned it down, and not because it was dealing with matters of political importance, but because I was cussing in it. So I said, okay, so then I will change it again. And then so I posted something that that was for those who are interested in the abortion issue and don't want to hear from a couple of men who are talking about it. Blah, blah, blah. Number one, it's been a long time since you've been fucked properly. Come on, babies. You know it's true. You know it's true. It's been a long time since you've been fucked, right? conservatishpodcast@gmail.com. Now, I'll take care of you, bitch. Now, I posted something, and I made sure there was no cussing, whatever. And what I posted was a clip of a woman who I've had on my podcast a number of times. We have affectionately dubbed her the good girl. She's a very good girl. And the last time she was on about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, she told a story about being 15 and going to the doctors and not knowing that she was pregnant, and that the doctors told her at 15 that they were going to produce an abortion. Didn't even ask her if that's what she wanted. Just told her while we were in there getting your, I think, appendix or something, we're gonna abort the baby. And her mom luckily stepped in. Now again, this woman, the good girl, was under like drugs because she was in so much pain from the I think it was appendix, and so she couldn't even really speak for herself. Luckily, her mom was there and was like, "Don't, no, I think there's other ways. Let's, you know." And the doctors were like, all right, you know, but the baby's going to die anyway. And the baby lived fine. And she's fucking 30-something now. Anyway.
So that's ridiculous. You can't do...
Of course it's ridiculous.
That's fucking ridiculous.
But anyway, because I shared this story, no cussing, I have it verified on my account that I'm allowed to make matters of political blah, blah, blah.
And you have a human penis.
Mm-hmm. I do have a human penis.
Not a robot penis. Okay.
Check out my Yelp reviews. I have those too. There's big mean purple one. There's a actually I like restraints better. Restraints are fucking god damn it. Restraints are fun. This is the podcast that I have for those who are interested. CONSERVATISH podcast. Look it up. I'm amazing. I'm very humbled too. So anyway, I posted this thing and they kicked it back. And they didn't even give me a real good reason because I know I'm verified. I'm allowed to whatever. And I was like, okay, I think I changed one of the hashtags on it or something like that. And so they allowed it. They approved it to go through. But even though they they let you see what the stats are of how many people review it, how many plays through. That thing that you were saying a second ago where you saw something from 4 days ago, mm-hmm. I have seen when you sponsor something and it gets shown to a bunch of people and you know, on Facebook and a little on Instagram, where they will re-show the same person.
So they would just reuse the same complaints or something
so
like
now
that, or
they're
same
like,
things.
No, they're like, oh, well, we've got the, you know, you've got the click. The play is through. So in your insights, when you look at your promoted ad, it said, "Whoa, there was X amount of." But how many of those are repeats? You fucking cocksuckers.
Because they repeat. Yes, I see what you mean. They, motherfuckers, man, motherfuckers.
Big
dude.
white daddy, big white liberal daddy knows best. Now here's the problem, though. A lot of those guys up at the top. There's one of them's Indian and the whatever. A lot of those guys are white. See, I'm half Puerto Rican. You're half shitting on me. You should let me say I'm speaking truth to power, you fucking cunt, because I have half Puerto Rican blood. So of course I'm half morally superior to you.
Half
you
liberal,
should be.
yeah.
You should let me talk about abortion.
You're half liberal, half conservative. You should be able to do. Yeah. No, that's why I feel just people taking shit way too personal, and then people like that's why it should be. Like, that's why I say let the people choose. Like,
right.
Fuck it. Let them choose. Like, if there's a man and a woman and they have, but up to that point, I didn't realize, like, some places are pushing, like, because there's a point, like, the heart is what, after the second trimester, right? Isn't that the whole point of it?
I think it's first.
Is it in the first?
I think.
What, see, that's what I would want to know. When, because to me, if it's a heartbeat, I could see more of reason to not abort it at that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because but if it's before, like early, like in the first month, and you don't want it,
right?
Or it's a rape baby or it's something like, I don't. And if you want to call it a baby, fine. I still wouldn't say that's the same as going after that point. That's just me. Like, that's just me.
I don't disagree necessarily.
And I also didn't realize people were trying to go 9 months and after the fact. That's kind of
not
ridiculous.
Just that. A lot of that whole idea is the idea that they're wanting to push through that this is just, it all hinges on whether it's a life or it's not.
Yeah.
And because we're so kind of sheltered from what abortion really is, we don't hear how messy and scary and fucked up an abortion really is.
It's not good. Yeah,
it's not. It's not just incredibly difficult on the mother. Often, sometimes not, but it's days and even not. Fuck it to what. How they feel emotionally, but how they feel physically in bed for days, throwing up and bleeding and all kinds of crazy shit. But they show video in this movie called Unplanned. And there's a great video online of a former abortion doctor talking about why he stopped doing abortions. And he very coldly, very calculatedly, very much like a doctor, talks about how you take apart a baby while it's in the womb. Yes. See, you have to come up and you clip, you squeeze and squeeze until and then you pull it out and there's a leg. You put the leg onto the tray. You go back in, you squeeze, and then there's another leg, or there's an arm, or when you see white gunk come out of the vagina, you know that you've gotten the brain. So you are taking pieces of a fucking life out of the. I'm not saying don't kill it.
No.
Call it a fucking baby. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
And so that's when the thing is like past a point, though, right?
Maybe.
That's
maybe.
like if you're pulling out legs, that means the thing is developed.
Well, yeah, but the development of the leg happens pretty fucking quickly. The brain or the heartbeat, like you were saying, I think might be. Adam, you might know this. He's watching right now. Actually, I shouldn't ask this motherfucker. He's a foul boy.
We could look all this up. This is all information out there. But it's just yeah. You gotta. I guess you gotta really. I'm guilty right now. You got to really know what you're talking about before you make a full decision. Like I didn't realize.
Or at the very least, let people fucking talk. You and I are very good at talking, but also coming from a place of I don't really know. Or
I'll be honest when I say something like that. Yeah.
Like I think so, and being honest about it. There are a lot of people online or on TV or whatever who are just like, nope, this is the one way. Just don't stop me from speaking.
Yeah, we should be able to talk about it. It's not that big of it shouldn't be that big of a thing where we can't talk about it. And that's where it's just like I said, I'll have a point too. I'll have a limit where I think no, that is actually a life, and no, you shouldn't do that. You should have the baby, and if you don't want it, put it up for adoption. You know what I mean? There's that option right there. Right. But it's also you can people will say that you can never really truly plan for a baby. But you can say, hey, I want a baby. Let's try to have a baby. You know what I mean?
And you can also, condoms do work pretty effectively.
Yeah.
IUDs work wonderfully most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. Like
nothing is 100%. Yeah, there's plenty of options. So it's just, it boils down to, this is my theory in life in general. It boils down to us as people and the decisions that are made and the cards you're dealt. Right. You know what I mean? if you're raped, that man should not be able to breathe anymore. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer. If you rape
like the death
someone,
penalty?
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm just saying like I despise people that will rape a woman, molest a child, or do shit like those things. Like hurt old people. Like those things to me, like it's a emotional response. It's not a logical response, and that's like it's even to this I've gotten more emotional. I feel in general after one of my cousins died, but I even watching like scenes in movies. I talked about this the other day. I don't remember if it was here on the show or not. But I was watching Bronx Tale and just watching the scene where they were beating up the black kids, but just because they were black or on their bike. Like I even have trouble watching that. You know what I mean? Like it got me like, man, I don't even want to look. I just turned away. I did something until that scene passed. There's something about those kind of things that I don't like. If you're doing that to people, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's something wrong, and you need help more than anything. So I don't want to say, I'm going to go kill him, but it angers me when I see that kind of a thing. So it boils down to just people. It boils down to us as people and how we deal with each other. There was a video online today on Facebook. A family of Latin people in a car gets cut off by a white couple. And so the white couple cuts them off. And not only do they cut them off, they start taunting them and calling them racial names, and then so the Latin people call the police in the car, but then they get pulled over because they're stuck in traffic on the freeway, and they start fighting. White people come out and start attacking them, so they defend themselves. And I'm just like, see, that's so unnecessary on so many levels. We don't know what happened before. We don't know if the Latin people provoked them before that. We don't know what happened. You know, but boiled down to reaction of us as people. That could have been easily avoided by just keep driving.
But I don't even know if that's racism either.
No, I'm not saying it's racism. I'm not saying it is.
Because there are a lot of black people who get out and fight with black people.
I'm not saying
too.
I'm not saying anything about race. No, I'm just saying in general about people. Because in the end, it's about abortion. It's about all these things. I feel like all these things come down to, in the end, as people. You know what I mean? It's all in what we choose to do when it comes to stuff like that. The race thing was just more me and my emotion in general. I'm sprouted a vagina over the last couple of years. I don't know.
Hey,
but I'm just fucking
we're
around.
both 33 now.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. You're 33 now. But it's but no, I feel because things in life will change you. No one has the foresight to realize that. I never would have thought something like this would have happened to my family, that it would affect all of us like that, and it changed all of us. Are
you open to talk about what happened?
My cousin passed away at a young age. He was 30. Okay. I've talked about it before on the show. He's one of the people who I talked about when I wanted to do the show. I wanted him and his other brother, my other cousin, on the show. And the day that I was going to ask him about it was 2 weeks after I had texted him and his other brother, my other cousin, about it. To see what their schedules were like to sit and talk. And that morning I got the call from my dad that he had passed away. So thank you. It's just, that's the kind of thing that no one expects some shit like that. No one thinks of that kind of stuff. So that, I feel, me personally, I watched a fucking movie and cried the other night.
But it also probably helped you mature. It helped.
Oh yeah, it helped, and so it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Right. It's not just age.
No, it's
that
time,
helps us.
really.
Right. It's time. It's experience.
Yeah.
But it's also real life shit, which is part. Not to make another political point, but part of the reason why I don't really want 16-year-olds to vote. I don't want fucking 18.
No,
I'm 33, and I don't want me to vote yet.
I think 18 is pushing it on its own, dude. The younger they are these days, I feel the more they are about social media and I got my information from Facebook. Yeah, you're not supposed to get your news from Facebook.
Right. I don't think that the whole extreme of kids should be seen and not heard.
That's too extreme.
But I also don't think. I think we started courting through how much money parents will spend for kids. We started courting kids' tastes back in the 80s, and that was a bad move.
We don't know shit when we're kids.
Right, we focus way too much on kids. Kids are manipulative. You know what I mean? 25-year-olds are fucking. I'm manipulative. We shouldn't be listening so much. Again,
listen, but don't take it so serious. Depending on what it is. Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, it's just I see it in at my shop and in public in general. Parents asking kids that are too young, what do you want to eat? And I don't remember getting unless you were at a restaurant, I get it. But if you didn't know what you wanted, they ordered for you usually. Right. So there was a point in time where you're do you want pancakes or eggs? Do you want this or that? Oh, I want this.
Peter, we are having chicken tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you see a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old in a shopping cart at Whole Foods with a carrot in his hand crying, and she's like, "Do you want beans or rice with dinner?" we're not leaving until you decide. You're putting way too much pressure on that kid,
Right.
and you're fucking everyone else's day up in the store right now because they got to hear this little shit screaming. And I'm just like, this is another reason why I don't know if I want kids in general. You know what I mean? I just see,
You should have kids.
I see kids so
You
much,
should
and I
have
love
kids.
so many of them. But there's some
Absolutely.
kids that I'm just listening to them. I'm like, man, I don't know if I.
Oh no,
I'm not ready to be. I don't know if I want that. You know,
the offspring that you and I create will be from hell, but
but it would be
we
fun,
should still
right?
do
We should
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just see like it's not an easy job. I'm not trying to criticize parents because I
Right.
know it's not easy.
no.
Uh,
But I also think, as an example, part of the sacredness of being put on the young is, number one, especially old white liberals, just hate themselves so much. There's just masochists, one and all. And as a sadist, I don't respect it that much. But anyway, they have so much hatred for themselves that they just know the young people know whatever. Sometimes, but. Remember when the kids were walking out of high school over the gun stuff, March for Our Lives?
the more recent ones, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with them having a say in things. I'm not, whatever. But you don't think, like, if there were 100 students who walked out, you don't think a good portion of them are just kind of doing that because they don't want to go to school?
Yeah, most of them are.
Just
Fuck
be
that.
honest.
Most of them are.
Just
Dude,
be
there were
honest.
kids that we had, incidences where people would die at our school, right? Young
Right.
kids, whether it was suicide or a car accident.
Sure.
And one of the incidents in particular, rest in peace, Marlon Miranda. I'll never forget her because one of her friends from middle school. This is high school. We all wanted to. At least I wanted to. I didn't know her. I wasn't friends with her, but I will represent that because that's just too young to die in high
Right.
school. You know what I mean? We all wore 22 on our graduation gowns because she was number 22 in the sport she played. But there was one of her friends, Janice Semafu, I believe was her name. They were friends in middle school, and then she ended up going to a different high school, right? So before the girl died, she had reached out to her to try to get together as many of their friends from their graduating class from middle school together, right? And when she had passed away in the funeral hall and like the rosary and the viewing and stuff, most of the people, like everyone from the school that she was trying to contact, were in that room, which is pretty creepy, but it's like a serendipitous kind of thing.
Sure.
But point being, there was kids that I overheard people talking because it was sad. Like I didn't know her, so I didn't go to the house. I didn't know her. That's rude to me.
Right.
That's rude to me to get
Right.
out of school because this family is mourning their loss of their daughter
But kids
because she
don't
died
know
in a car.
any better.
But they don't know any
We're
better.
just selfish.
Which is and it's just because, hey, my family taught me that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
was taught by like when I told my mom about it, and she's like, I'm glad you didn't try to do that. I was like, no, I don't know her. I was like, haram, like in Arabic. Why would it? That's so fucked up. If anything, I would just send them flowers just to say, hey, I'm a student at the school. I don't know your daughter, but I'm sorry for your loss. You know what I mean? Like if it's just fucking wrong.
Right.
And there was people really upset about that. They say, I saw this one person sleeping in the living room, everybody. And I was like, what a fucking... And I'm 17 at the time. I was like 17, 16, 17. I'm like, what a dick. Like, what if I'm 17
Right.
and I know that's wrong?
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm not trying to go and blame your parents, who, for all I know, they taught you well. We're
Right.
influenced by friends a lot, too. We're influenced by
Right.
so much as kids, and it's getting harder and harder to see what they're influenced by these days because of all this shit, you know what I
Right.
mean? So, yeah, I don't know. Let's take a breather for some music because we've been chatting for a minute.
Yeah.
And I also remember last time you mentioned something about Andre Nicotina, and you never heard his music, really, right?
Well, yeah, but I also got to piss and have a cigarette.
No. We have time. No. We're gonna play music. You're gonna go do all that stuff, and you come back, and we'll get back to that.
All
So
right.
here's some.
A little Mac Dre would be nice too.
We can play some Mac Dre. I can do whatever you want. Yeah. Okay. Here's some of the raconteurs. Raconteurs. Yeah. The Jack Black. I'm terrible at pronouncing names of shit, man. But I love these guys.
Zebra.
Zebra. That's one I can pronounce, motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
If any Arabs listening. All right. Here's Old Enough, and then I got a few other songs and a little comedy bit, and we'll be back in a little bit. Thanks for joining me, Peter. Happy birthday. Happy Pride Month, by the way. I'm sorry. I almost forgot about that. Almost forgot that last time. Happy Pride Month, because I did my whole Pride Month thing my first year on this whole month of June. I did all Pride themed stuff, and
Nice.
I wanted to do that again this year, and I just didn't. Just got to fucking plan ahead of time. So maybe for next year's Pride, I'll do that again because I
You
plan
got
on
it.
being in this
Should
studio
bring
again.
sex toys in right now.
Peter, don't get me excited. All right,
Someone just said I have a great listening face.
Ooh, I like that.
My
Peter.
face is very invested in this conversation.
You are a good listener. That's for damn
I
sure.
know, I'm amazing.
Well, Peter, thanks for being here. And
Look
it's
up
a pleasure having you
Conservatish.
here.
Join my
Conservatish.
Patreon.
Do it.
Or
Well,
suck a dick and die. I don't mind Costco pizza.
I don't mind it either, but I love hearing funny stuff about Costco because I go to Costco once or twice a week for work, and
do?
yes, and people automatically assume I work there, which drives me fucking insane.
Because
I don't have a name
look
tag.
official.
I don't know what it is, but they assume I work there. It's to the point where I listen to music now when I shop,
Right.
because I used to never be a fan of headphones in public, but
it's so fun to be antisocial.
Well, I have to be now because everyone thinks I'm an employee there.
All right.
It's to the point where it's to the point where I become mean to people that ask me. It's different. It depends on how you ask. If you say, "Hey, where did you find that?" That means you've acknowledged that I am a customer as well, and I'm shopping, and I found it. Maybe I can tell him if I remember where I found it. When you say, "Hey, where do you guys keep?" or "Where can I find?" or "Where is?" you're assuming my employment here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm a big anti-assumption kind of guy in certain situations. You know what I mean? You got to be careful when you assuming shit. So that's just me personally. But so to the point where the good thing is I've gotten jokes out of it, and one of them I say is that I tell the story that somebody got so mad at my reaction when I told them I don't work here that they complained to Costco management, and Costco management had to come over and they had to tell her to her face after she pointed me out that, "Oh no, he doesn't work here."
Were you wearing khakis at the time?
No, I'm wearing
polo.
a hooded sweater. No, I wear jeans and a t-shirt, and then I wear a
Right.
sweater when I go in the walk-in cooler.
Did you look like loss prevention?
No, I look.
Did you have a radio on you at any point?
No.
All right.
I had a Post-it note on the handrail. I mean, come on, you can't get more customer than a Post-it note. That's my list. Like, I don't see any other employees with Post-it notes on their forklifts, right?
Right.
So no, I say that the joke, the whole point is like the look on the person's face when, "Oh, he doesn't work here," you know? It's kind of nice, actually. I want that to happen one day. I really want someone to complain to the management about me and then have them walk over to me and say, "That's the one that was rude to me." Have them say, "He doesn't work here."
I can go to Moonlight Cafe one day and just start throwing shit or
I mean, you can't.
whatever you'd like.
I don't want you to do that.
I'm happy
though.
to be of service.
I want you to go to Costco and start throwing shit at the people that think I work there. Can you do that to me?
Yeah. I'll
But
hang
you can't
back,
get arrested, though.
I'll
I want
hang
you
back. I'll hang back 20 paces or something, and if someone starts talking to you, I'll just throw a jar of pickles at their face.
I like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there'd be blood and pickle juice everywhere.
Ooh. And then you just run.
Pickle juice probably stings like a motherfucker.
All that salt.
Vinegar on the
Vinegar and
Ooh.
saltiness. Oh yeah.
Maybe
No.
if I lick their wound, maybe that would be like a nice.
So you
way
could be
to-
like the devil and the angel at the same. You could be the guy that throws it at them from the
Yes.
side, and then all of a sudden you could be the good Samaritan that comes out to help. Like, "Oh
Of
my God, my friend
course.
Peter happened to be with me. Help them." There you go.
Right.
That way you don't get arrested. It's a
And then
win-win
I could
situation.
fuck the wound. I could put my fingers in and start pulling it apart and watch the skin tear,
Ow.
and then maybe I could fist their wound.
I don't think.
The pee in it. No?
I don't think they'd like that
You don't
part.
think so?
I don't know.
Costco has a lot. I mean, they sell blinds. They sell lots of things there.
Well, I guess. I don't know. Now we might be talking police involvement here.
Have you ever peed in a butt? I've never peed in a butt.
No, I never peed on anybody, actually.
You never peed on anybody?
No, I
I think
have
I've
not.
peed on a couple of people.
No, I never.
Have I?
I've never been into that. I feel those fluids should stay separate. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's bad enough.
I
that,
feel that way about shit for sure.
Definitely. Well, it's bad enough that
For
our fun parts are
sure.
next to the sewage plant. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole thing in general. That's like
Right.
borderline. Like, can get awkward. You know, what we see in the
Right.
porno is never what is actually in reality.
Right.
You know.
See, I don't dig on peeing on somebody on a bed or a couch or something. Take that shit in the bathtub.
Yes, there you go. Yes, where
You know what I
it
mean? In
belongs.
the shower.
Yeah, where it belongs.
Maybe stick her in the sink or something. Fucking, but
You must have a big sink or a really small woman, right?
right. I'm deeply into midgets. I find midgets. In fact, if there was a woman at Costco who had a bottle of pickles thrown at her and then a wound, and I could fuck, and if she was a midget, that would be perfect because then I could fuck the wound. Get the sting. I wonder, the vinegar and salt in the
my
brine
God,
would probably sting my urethra a little bit too. I don't
wouldn't
know
wear a
if I
condom?
want. No,
What
of
if she
course
had the
not.
HIV or
If I'm gonna
something,
fuck a
man?
wound, I'm not gonna wear a
That's
condom.
blood, though, man. That's the direct
Yeah,
contact to disease and stuff.
But they're at Costco. They're fine. If a bitch has a Costco membership, I'm not wearing a condom. You're fine, baby. Don't worry about
Let's start researching STD ratio to Costco membership ratio and see how what we find. I bet you.
it. Look at her picture. Look at her picture and see what the decay was since she took the picture. If she looks methy now and she looked cool, oh, this is from a month ago, then that's a no go.
So there's probably, what do you want to say the ratio would be like? To every 10,000 Costco members, only one has an STD. Maybe that's a pretty.
There's like one herpy running around Costco at a time, and there's fucking hundreds of people in.
And the
Costco.
midget wouldn't be that one though, for sure.
No,
right? Okay.
no.
The little person, if we want to call it, right? Or if we call it midget. That's another.
Yeah.
That's another word of the PC. I got a friend named Midget. Her middle name is Midget, and she goes by Midget.
Is she a short person?
She's a short person, but she's not a midget. She was a guest on my show one of the times too, and she's great. She writes like sex novels, and she's like sex therapist and stuff. Like, she's fucking awesome.
Email
she
me,
did spoken
bitch. I'll
word
take care of you. No problem.
She did spoken word at the shop once, but no. Yeah, I don't know. That's a word I feel.
Midget?
Like midget and retard. Those are two of those
Yeah.
PC ones that like people get so upset when you use. I use retarded all the time, like, but only when I say I do something wrong. Oh fuck, I'm retarded.
Right.
And someone said, you use that word still, and I was like, yeah. They're like, no one says anything to you. I was like, I guess I don't use it in front of people I don't know, so maybe that's why they don't say anything.
Right.
If anyone is upset that I use that word, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend you. If you have someone in your family that's mentally disabled or mentally challenged,
I mean,
whatever you wanna call it.
I say the N-word, but I don't often like. It depends on the company that I'm around.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that's because I'm like, I don't have principles. I just feel like it depends on the fucking people that I'm around. You know what I mean? And that includes like if I'm around my grandma or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna say half of the nasty shit that I say. You know what I mean? Same thing. If I barely know somebody, I'm not gonna start saying, "Oh, this nigga over here." Like, you know, I'll say that to my friends, especially if they're not black. Oh, I love calling white people nigga. I have no fucking. I love that shit. I love that shit. You know, because I just nigga is here's what it is. It's a replacement for motherfucker. That's all it is. It's a replacement for motherfucker. Motherfucker is not hard enough a term anymore. You know what I mean? This
motherfucker. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't. And nigga actually feels like a bit more loving. You know what I mean? Motherfucker just feels more angry.
People use it as an endearment, depending on that's
Right.
like that song from Tribe Called Quest. Some people use it as a term of endearment. Some people use it as a negative thing.
Right.
It all depends on how you use it. It depends on the person. Like, I don't say the word, you know.
Right.
I've said it before, like if I'm singing a rap song or something like that, like out loud by myself.
That was the whitest anyone's ever said rap song. By the way.
Hip hop song.
When those rap guys are singing,
I'm singing along with them, you know, because I want to be cool too. No, I just. But that's just me. Like I don't. Like, I don't feel like if someone says, and it's one of those things. We've had this conversation with PJ next door when one of his friends uses it, and he's Latin. He says I should be able to say it, and I say, you know, really, I want to say no. You know what I mean? Like, it's why the way you described it is what you do it around the people you know that you're not gonna get upset when you use the word, because you're not using it to be mean or negative.
And I don't want to get into a motherfucking thing. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't want to get into a thing. There's no reason to do that.
No, yeah.
If it's on a podcast and we can discuss it, rock and roll. But if you're gonna get physical or whatever, I have no fucking reason. No. That's some childish shit.
Because you're not saying it in that way of being negative or derogative or being offensive to somebody.
Right. Or I'm doing it on purpose to either to be super over the top, or I'm doing it to make somebody angry, or make somebody angry.
You're not
but I mean,
being
like,
vindictive with it.
No, I'm not. No. It's just like you wouldn't use retard like to an actual retarded person.
I would not.
You would do it to like your fucking friend who won't come out.
Thank you.
Know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. No, it's like an accent. I mainly say like when I do something, like I've had this thing lately for I don't know what the fuck reason. Every like month or two, I walk around and flare my fucking arms and knock something over. I don't know what it is. Like it's one day in the month, and it's almost like a period. You know what I mean? Like one day, but it's not every month. It's like every once in a while.
Right.
And like the other day, I did it at home. I knocked over a cup of water. Thank God it's just water. And I'm like, fucking idiot, you retard.
Right.
And then I did it at work too. I smacked my hand really hard on the counter, and I'm like, and it fucking hurt. Because a granite counter, when you just hit yourself on something like hard like that, and I hit a pressure point, and I almost said it out loud, but I didn't because I was at work, and I don't remember if there was customers inside or not. But point being, I restricted myself just in case. I don't want someone to hear me say that and think I'm referring, But there's a group of people that come in, they're adults, they're all mentally challenged, mentally disabled, and they have a chaperone with them, and they come on, and they do things. They take them to the bridge, they take them to like Alcatraz, they take them places, and they'll be in Bernal Mission, they'll come for lunch sometimes.
Right.
Never once will I ever think of even, you know what I mean? Like, never. If anything, I help them when they come in, put their tables together, talk to the person that's taking the orders.
Right.
Some of them remember us and they say hi, and they're not like, the fuck, Like, that's why there's got to be there's got to be a way of us to be able to laugh at shit and look at stuff in a certain light without getting so like, God, I can't believe, you know, like, fuck, I'm the first person to say, don't call someone the N-word in a derogatory way. Don't use that.
Now,
I would never tell you
feel-
don't say that word, though. You get what I mean? Like, that's your choice. The way you're using it, I understand how you're using it. I don't think that's wrong.
And I
just wouldn't use it myself, you know?
Right, and I disagree with that guy's idea of, well, I'm Latin, I should be allowed to say it because
yeah.
I'm half Latin.
Thank you. That's not an
it shouldn't
excuse to be able to say it.
I should be allowed to say it half of the time. It doesn't make any sense.
No, you
It
should
just doesn't
say it
make
if you
any
want to
sense.
say it. I know people that aren't black that use it. When people use it a lot, it's annoying.
Right.
I will never tell someone, shut up or don't say something. You know what I mean? That's I'll just choose the times I hang out with you if I know you're a person that uses that word on a regular basis in front of other people.
Right.
But that's just I'm not passing judgment on other people.
Right.
I don't care. You say what you want to say. You know.
Most of the time, it's fucking white liberals that I have a problem
Well,
with.
those are the ones that get offended. My basketball joke. Those are the people that get offended the most are white people. You know what I
Right.
mean? White liberal people are the ones that get offended the most.
Right.
Every time I've said that joke in a room of minorities, the people that are minorities,
understand.
they're the ones laughing the most. Especially, it was one time there was like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm counting, but there was like 4 or 5 people that, like, there were a couple couples. One, like, the boyfriend was black. One couple, there was 2 black people. One person was like Latin and a black person. Like, there was a whole mix of people in the crowd that night, and they were the only ones laughing when I said it. And I was like, because and I make sure that, like, when I'm saying it, I never throw out any word of race. You know what I mean? And someone has explained to me so many times about how someone upset at what we're saying. Everyone explains to me why it's wrong. And
Pomey music.
Oh.
Pomey just said, "Look at that serious face."
Look at that serious
I'm
face.
a cherubic man,
Ooh.
sir. We're talking about serious things.
We're talking about serious stuff here, but it's just, I feel when you start restricting, it's like the shadow banning. It's like when you start doing that,
right?
It really defeats the purpose of having that First Amendment to be able to say what you want to say.
Right.
You don't have to like what someone says. This is the one thing I miss about doing Reckless Intent, was having all these topics that. But that's why I also enjoy having you on here, because I know you're someone that likes to talk about things that are pushing the envelope of, can we even discuss it? Yeah, we should be able to discuss it.
Right.
I think we should be able to discuss anything we want. We should be able to discuss the history of slavery if you want. That doesn't mean that that means we like that. We want to discuss it. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you hear, what was it? Damn it. I'm going to fucking goddamn forget what it is. Oh,
don't forget.
That YouTube started deleting, because they were deleting people's free speech of whatever. They started deleting history videos of Nazis.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's stupid. What?
Exactly.
What the fuck, man? It existed.
But big white liberal daddy knows best. He knows best, right? We should trust big white liberal daddy because he's morally superior to us.
How are we ever going to learn if we don't know what happened?
Yeah.
How can we ever change if we don't know what was done in the past?
Right.
I don't.
When I've seen, fucking this douchebag.
Stop being a douchebag.
My
whoever
friends
that
are the
is.
worst people in the world. Everyone, don't go to Pomey Music and go and listen to his music right now, because he's a bad man who is calling me names. And don't look up the episodes where he was on my podcast for sure, because we're bad people. Now, I was saying. The thing is that's what, if you follow the logic all the way down the line, this isn't going to end well.
No.
We need to stopping people. We need to let people talk. You know what I mean? And that's why when it comes to, like, oh, you shouldn't have an opinion about, or you don't get to talk about this, it's always white liberals or it's black college-aged girls. It's never black college-aged, like, guys, because guys are more interested in getting pussy. Guys are like, they're busy. You know what I mean?
Let me find the girls that
they're
ain't talking about this so we can fuck.
Right, exactly. Because women in general are just, I'm sorry, girls, I'm gonna have to fucking shoot it over the bow right now. I'm not gonna actually shoot your ship. I'm just gonna shoot it over the bow, baby. You don't understand context, and you don't practice the context muscle as much as a lot of us do. A lot of women do, but on the whole, as far as social media goes, women just aren't practiced in that muscle of context, and it sucks because they're fucking smart. You know what I mean? They're smart and they're intuitive and they're so good at taking care of people, and their hearts, they're emotionally intelligent. But as far as fucking context, they hear a word and they seize up because they're so used to using that emotion that logic, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, logic doesn't come in. And just like we shouldn't listen to one group a lot, like young people as an example, we shouldn't be listening to women as much as we're listening to them. I'm sorry, because it's always the feminine side of things, whether it be a guy who's kind of a bitch who isn't getting laid, or a female who's causing these issues. It's never like a guy who's like busy getting pussy or not even like a pussy hound or whatever the fuck, but just like a guy, who's
living his life,
living
doing
his
his
life,
thing.
doing work
Yeah.
and making a business,
Minding his business,
minding
basically.
minding his own fucking business. It's always the feminine side of things, which is important, but we have a little too much of it right now. We need more real masculinity.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. The whole thing of talking. People say toxic masculinity, and like there is a line
Sure.
of normal amount of like masculinity, and then there's the whole
Absolutely.
like the bro code, and if you're gay you're dead, and so all the you know what I mean, like things like people have
Right.
fucked up mentalities
But
on.
that- yeah, exactly.
And that's
That's not
just
even
but that
real
goes to an
masculinity,
extreme of
right.
any. Yeah, that's and people I feel will try to pull those things down into that thing, and a man can't cry and all this shit, and
Right.
it's like that's.
Right.
I just talked about I got teary watching a movie, and it's a movie because it's a movie about what I love of
Right.
this city, and it breaks my heart seeing people displaced, and we talked about that in general. Like I don't know if we can stop gentrification. I think that's a part of what comes with
Humans.
capitalism, imperialism.
I think it's humans,
and human in
too.
general. Yeah, people wanting more.
The fact that and
you
and
want more, it's going to change. It's just how it is.
The
Like
fact that I can go into one place and buy anything I want, Costco, Walmart, whatever. The fact that I can go into a place, it's probably the same price or a little cheaper. Sorry. And it's all centrally located in one thing, and it's next to a Starbucks. It's next to it's next to all these other gentrification places.
Yeah.
So I can get all my shit done in one area, and then I can continue about my life, right? And it's harder to do that with mom and pop stores, and you know what I mean. And not just that, but as far as gentrification when it comes to neighborhoods, that's kind of a good thing in some ways because
it
there's
has its
less
pros and cons.
There's less fucking crime. Sorry, I don't want to live in a place that has crime. You know what I mean? And so, do I have to deal with douchey fucking, hipster
Hipsters,
millennials?
yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. But I also don't like getting my car taken. You know what I mean? So it's
And that's another thing is crime is going to be everywhere. You know what I mean? There's even in the city with the hipsters and all that. There's still shit that's going to happen.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's going to happen. And I have a friend of mine, a customer of ours. He owns an art gallery. He owns some property in the city. One of the buildings he owns is an art gallery on I will say Bartlett and 24th or 24th, I think, by the BART station over there. And he said it to me the best as he's changing his window that got a bullet in it.
Jesus.
And the people that own the art gallery, I understand the emotional frustration that can go with gentrification,
Right.
people moving into your city. But the particular art, like if these people knew what they were about, they might not have shot their store. They actually are big on local artists. They're big on like San Francisco stuff. Like like the people that bought the art gallery, they're actually not someone that's like aiming for the gentrification to happen. If anything, they're doing things themselves to try to help incorporate everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and he told me that. I was like, holy shit. He goes, the only problem with the whole gentrification thing is it's hard and it sucks for the people that want to stay to do good.
Right.
You have to learn to adapt. That's the only way you could beat it if you're getting forced out, and it's not easy for everyone to do that. You know what I mean? Like, he's fortunate. His family's owned property in the city for a long time. So this person in particular, he is lucky in that sense.
Right.
He's also worked very hard. He works very hard for what he has. He is a workaholic.
Right.
So it's the issues are very, very gray. It's very difficult. It's not the easiest thing to
Right.
talk about
Totally.
and to deal with. And the worst thing is San Francisco is so small. It happened at such a rapid pace.
Right.
There's so much of the mission that still is the mission, but there's
Sure.
also so much of it. Like Valencia Street.
But I mean, yeah, exactly. But tell me, would you rather hang out on Mission or Valencia Street?
Mission.
Really?
Yes, I love that.
But there's nothing there but taquerias and fucking.
But it's
and,
the
and-
cultural and the people
But
and like
hanging
the,
out. But okay,
No,
rock and roll. But hanging out. Because
Yeah,
hanging out is where the money is. Bars and things
No,
like
but
that.
there's also good stuff on Mission too. That's why. Like, I'd rather go to like Dr. Teeth. You know what I mean? I'd rather go
okay,
to like
that's
Cha
further
Cha
down.
Cha.
I'm
You know what I
talking
mean? Like,
16th.
No, I wouldn't hang on. No, but no, yeah. You got to be specific on Mission. I'm from here. I know what 16th Street. No, I wouldn't be going to the 16th Street bar, but I also wouldn't be going to 16th in Valencia because it's not that far from it either. 15th
Yeah,
in Valencia, I'd say that's still.
But that's the
it's
point that
still,
I'm making is that
you know,
people who complain. I'm not saying complain is it has a horrible connotation in this sense. I agree, gentrification sucks balls, but at the same time,
No.
would you rather hang out on fucking Valencia with the douchey hipsters or get stabbed
No, you
or
want to
walk
be
over a
safer.
needle?
Of course, everyone wants to be
Come
safe.
on,
No,
yeah.
and that's why I say you gotta. And that's the thing too. You got to look at the population wise, right? How many people are actually doing the bad things? It's still a smaller percentage. You know what I mean? Because if it was a greater percentage, then we wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
We probably would have been stabbed already by now if the majority of people are doing bad things. So
Right.
So it's one of those. It's. I'm not saying I don't want gentrification. I want everything to stay like one way or the other. No, there's got to be some sort of fine balance. You know what I mean? That's the hard thing of finding it, is how do we do that as a people?
I think that's fucking humanity in general.
And it is. That's all it is.
Right.
It just comes down to us as people and what we do. And sometimes a smile can go a long way. I mean, fuck, you don't got to do that much sometimes for somebody to make their day. If you smile at someone,
but sometimes it's a grill instead of. Black joke.
Paul Wall,
right.
Paul Wall.
I forgot about Paul
Remember
Wall.
Paul Wall?
The people's champ.
The people's champ. That's right. Oh God. Let me see your grill. Let me see your grill.
I found you.
God,
this new booty.
It's so funny. So I remember last time you talked about Andre Nicotina, and you said that you wanted to be more than just a local artist like Andre Nicotina. Because other than Vegas and LA, he isn't as known outside of California, really. Right. So, and you said you never heard any of his music, though. Right. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna play two songs. I'm gonna play because he's Dre Dog and he's Andre Nicotina. Now Dre Dog is the coke snorting, dope smoke, chewy smoking, gangster from the Filmo. I see. And Andre Nicotina I guess apparently he's not doing coke and dope anymore, but he still smokes weed and raps and shit like that, and he's still from the Fillmore. But those are his kind of two personas. He had two different things. But in the end, it's Andre Nicotina. He actually used to go to Chile. I don't know if I mentioned last time. He used to go to Chili's and get ribs all the time when my sister worked there. He probably still does, but they'll be like,
"There's a Chili's around here
in San Bruno, not too far from here."
About
15, 20 minutes away in El Camino, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So he would go there and get ribs once in a while, and people would be like, "Hey, Andre Nicotina's coming around." So here's some of my favorites that I'm trying to think. I'm going to pick a really good one here. Where the hell did it go?
Yeah, I like him.
It's nice, right?
Yep.
He's it's one of those things. I want everyone to be as successful as possible. Like I can't wait till I see your name somewhere.
Mine?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, oh shit, I know that guy. You know what I mean? Like because everyone, if you work hard, you do what you want in your art. And something will happen when it happens. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a true believer in just keep going, keep your karma clean. You know what I mean? Like, don't hate on anybody. Like, so it's one of those things like seeing how he is here in the Bay. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably happy at that point. You know what I mean? Because you were saying, like, you want to be even more than that, And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a fucking good thing.
Yeah,
it's a very fucking good thing.
But, he's got...
He's got potential to do more, probably,
This is the right place for him to do it, and he's happy with where he's at.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I don't...
But you want more, and I want that for you.
For that, yeah.
No, I want that for you, too, you know what I mean? I think it's crucial. I think it's important. Because, fuck, man, especially with what's happening in the world right now, God damn it, we need to be able to just listen to each other. Because you don't got to fucking like everything someone says, but at least just be able to...
We still got 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, we got some time. Oh, yeah. You got anything else in your mind you want to throw out there? Got about like 4.5 minutes technically of recording time.
4.5 minutes of recording time.
Yeah, then we can just be on the Facebook Live and stuff.
Well, it's my goddamn...
it's your birthday.
It's my goddamn birthday.
Can I sing happy birthday to you?
No.
Okay.
You don't pay me enough. A zebra cake is not.
No, can I sing happy birthday to you?
No, I know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm saying I don't have it. I don't have the spiritual wherewithal to survive whatever you singing would sound like.
It'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. Yeah. But it's okay. It's okay. I can rap happy birthday to you.
No, God, for the love of God, don't ever do that. I'll cut out your tongue. I swear to God. You want to talk about peeing in people? No, but I think what's fucking strange, because people who are listening right now, who know me or who listen to the podcast, I dislike hippies in all shapes and sizes, but I actually did a little bit of hippie shit yesterday. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it.
You hug a tree?
No, but I did. Let's just say it has to do with like energies and spirits and things like that. And no, it's
close though. Close to Reiki.
Close.
Yeah.
It's fucking close. And It was fucking legit. I don't know. I gotta process it still, but it's suffice it to say, emotionally and spiritually, I'm just fucking raw today for some reason.
It's okay. Sometimes we need that,
in a good way. But it felt so fucking great and kind of free yesterday. But then today, I'm fucking just getting annoyed on the road, and it's hot, and it's just
some resentment from
tired.
it.
I've only had 4 shots of espresso so far today, and that's fine normally. But with all the fucking heat and shit, I'm just.
I think it's the heat more than anything. Are you someone that doesn't like hot weather?
No, I'm fine with it normally.
Okay.
Shit, I've been waiting around. I live in fucking Pacifica. Pacifica's fucking hell for coldness and fog and
so fucking
and I love
humid
Pacifica,
and shit,
but
moist and stuff.
Yeah, it's just moist.
You must live
it's
with
hard
bleach
to keep
everywhere.
it's hard to keep a goddamn clean car in Pacifica.
Oh no, yeah, that and keep the mold out of your bleach. So someone told me if you live in Pacifica, bleach becomes your best friend because you're bleaching your walls if you see mold on them all the time. So
really?
Check your walls, check your closets. Yeah,
because
you're by the ocean. Yeah, we were looking at a place Pacifica. We didn't get it. One of the reasons why you walk in the place and it smelled like mold.
Really?
I love the idea of living by the beach, but I don't want to breathe in mold.
I haven't seen that issue.
Depending on where you are, you might be okay. It all depends on how close you are to the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So double check that stuff. But so we got about a minute and so of actual recording time. You want to throw out any shout outs for your social tags?
You need to go listen to my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear more of that foul, horrible, semi-conservative shit I was saying earlier, and sometimes very conservative shit. CONSERVATISH. You can support the podcast and my music. Yes, I'm a musician, and yes, I'm a better musician than anyone else you'll ever hear. At patreon.com/conservatish. No, I'm not fucking around. I'm not going to be fake humble. I'm fucking better than everybody. And you can find me on SoundCloud. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. Go help a motherfucker out. Go support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish and get fun little goodies. You can sign up for $5, $10, $15, $20, whatever the hell. And I think if you subscribe for $25 a month, I actually blow you.
Oh.
So that's pretty cheap.
Shit.
I'm okay.
That's
I'm
good.
okay.
That's economic price
I got
range.
I got large teeth, but I try to hold them back. I suck a dick like this. But no, it's been a great time, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Peter. Happy birthday to you, brother. It's been another Zee'z Yerba Buena.
August 17th. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, go hurry up.
August 17th, Brick and Mortar album release party.
Yes, that's right. Brick and Mortar, August 17th. I will be there.
Yes, sir.
Fucking A right. And the recording probably stopping in about 10 seconds. I think. Thank you all. I love you guys so much. Your brain. I'm taking next week off, but I'll be back the week after. I gotta reschedule my week because we have a variety show next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then